Two-dimensional shapes. Two-dimensional shapes, or 2D shapes, have two dimensions, such as the width and height, and no thickness. Polygons are two-dimensional shapes with at least 3 straight lines and 3 angles. Polygons must also be closed and have no openings. Using this information, what shapes below are not polygons? Well, we know that polygons have at least 3 straight sides and 3 angles, so the triangle works and is a polygon, as well as this quadrilateral, which has 4 sides. Now they have to be closed, so this opening that exists in this diagram makes it not a polygon. And they also have to have straight sides, so this circle is not considered a polygon. The pentagon that shows up here is a polygon because it has 5 sides and it's a closed figure. Similarly, this pentagon is also a polygon because it has 5 straight sides and it is closed. Here are examples of figures that are polygons and figures that are not polygons. If we notice, the polygons consist of 3 or more sides and they are all closed and the sides are straight. In this one, the figures that are not polygons, this semicircle has a curve in it. This figure is not enclosed, it has an opening, and this one has an overlap. We do have 2 triangles in there, but because of the crisscross that happens here, that shape itself is not a polygon. A polygon is a simple closed plane figure made up of 3 or more line segments and angles. The beginning of the word poly actually originates from the Greek word bola, which means many, so that's why it starts with poly, means many, and then gon originates from the Greek word gonia, which means angle. So literally polygon translates directly into many angles as a direct translation. And remember that simple means that line segments do not intersect. Remember, line segments are straight and not curved. And closed means that when you trace the figure, it ends at the starting point, meaning you can create the shape from beginning to end without lifting your pencil. And my starting point over here is my ending point. And then a 2-dimensional or flat shape is a plane figure. If a figure's sides and angles are congruent, it's called a regular polygon. So here we have a regular hexagon with 6 sides that are congruent and all 6 of its angles. And here we have a square where it has 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles that all measure 90 degrees. If either the figure's sides or angles are not congruent, it's called an irregular polygon. So this first one has 4 congruent sides, but the angles don't look to be the same at all. This triangle has 3 different side lengths. This one to the left's a little shorter, bottom's a little bit longer, and the side across from the angle that appears to be obtuse is the longest side. And this pentagon, not all of the sides and angles are congruent. So again, it's irregular. 2-dimensional shapes have either straight or curved lines. So straight means they're a straight line, or it could be a curve. That's just 2-dimensional shapes. Polygons themselves are simply made of straight lines and must be enclosed. Shapes with straight lines have sides, and each straight line is considered to be a side. If a shape has a curved line, the number of sides are not counted. Shapes with straight sides also have angles. An angle is where 2 sides meet, and we can also call that meeting point a corner or a vertex. You can have students think of it as the floor is typically a rectangle of a classroom, and the corner of the classroom is where the two sides of the floor end up meeting together. That's an analogy that can be used in the classroom to help them understand where the angle is formed, at the corner or the more math word vertex. Different types of polygons exist. The smallest number of sides that a two-dimensional polygon may have is 3. This shape is called a triangle. What do you think tri means, or the beginning prefix in triangle? It actually means 3. So a triangle consists of tri, which is 3, angles. So that's how the name triangle came about. A polygon with 4 sides is called a quadrilateral. What do you think quad means? Here is a set of quadrilaterals. What do they all have in common? All of these shapes have 4 sides. So quad stands for 4, and lateral means sides. So a quadrilateral is a two-dimensional shape that has 4 sides. Now that we know that tri means 3 and quad means 4, what do we call other polygons? Let's use the chart to help name the shapes that we have here. So we have this shape, which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, and the prefix penta means 5. So pentagon is a shape that contains 5 sides or 5 angles. Now let's look at this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sides goes with the prefix hepta, and it's a polygon, so it's an enclosed figure with 7 sides and 7 angles, so heptagon is the name of this shape. Now let's look at this bottom one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. For 6 sides, we have hexa as the prefix, so hexagon is the name of this shape. And then the last one that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 goes with the prefix octa for octagon. Triangles can be classified by their angles or their sides. Let's try to drag each triangle to the correct definition. An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has all of the sides being congruent or equal. And if you look at it, the beginning of the word starts with equal, almost looks like the word equal, except there's an I there instead of an A. And then again, lateral means sides. So the one that has all of the sides congruent is this one. Okay, an isosceles triangle has at least 2 sides congruent. Typically it's 2, but an equilateral triangle is also considered to be isosceles. Out of the diagrams remaining, this one is the best one that suits an isosceles triangle. The last one is a scalene triangle. None of the sides are congruent. And notice none of these are marked using tick marks. So it is considered to be scalene. As we can see, the solutions that we came up with in our example are exactly what is shown in this table. This slide shows the quadrilaterals that we will be encountering in this unit. The first one is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral that has opposite sides that are both parallel and equal in length. The next type of quadrilateral is called a rhombus. A rhombus is one of the special types of parallelograms, and just as a parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel, so does a rhombus. The thing that makes a rhombus special is that all of its sides are equal in length. So all 4 of these sides are equal. in a rhombus. The next shape that we have is a rectangle. A rectangle, just as a parallelogram, has opposite sides that are parallel and equal in length. But what makes a rectangle special is that it has 4 right angles. And we typically use square marks to represent right angles. And then a square is the most special type of parallelogram because it's both a rhombus, which makes all of its sides equal in length, and it has 4 right angles. It's the regular quadrilateral. All sides and angles are the same. Another type of quadrilateral that we will encounter is a trapezoid. A trapezoid has only one set of parallel sides. So in this case, the top and the bottom are your parallel sides. Another shape that we encounter is a pentagon. Pentagons have 5 straight sides, and they are enclosed figures. And not all the sides and angles have to necessarily be equal. It could look something like this, or even this, and still be considered a pentagon because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight sides. Circles and ovals have no sides and no angles. They're simply curved lines that do start and end at the same point. So here's a circle, and here's an oval, and it's also known as an ellipse.